sun sets, I come alive. The world keeps running, but I stand still, obeying your command, Yahuwah's will. No working hands, no toilet ground, only peace and joy abound. A day of rest, a gift so true, Yahuwah, I delight in you. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign that will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. No buy and selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. A day for worship, a time to be with family close and heart set free. I hear your voice in stillness deep. You call me close, my soul to keep. Your love surrounds, your spirit leads. You give me rest, you meet my needs. Set apart from worldly ways, I lift my voice in songs of praise. Your covenant forever stands. I trust, obey, and lift my hands. The work is done, the table set. Your Sabbath peace I won't forget. I breathe it in, I let it flow. A glimpse of what's to come, I know. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign that will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. No buy and selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for heart set free. No buy and selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for heart set free. No buy and selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jade.
And we are playing with music. Hang tight. We are learning the brand new ropes of this music software, it seems, and it looks like we weren't down, but Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are blessed. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. We are the family who believes all of the scriptures, from the very first book of the scriptures all the way to the very last book, from the very first page all the way to the very last page and beyond. We believe that all of the words of our Creator are very, very important. They are for all times, all people, all generations. And when you align your life to these beautiful, beautiful words and these beautiful commandments that we have been given, then we have entered into the remnant of the people who are going to be saved according to scriptures. And throughout all these kinds of religions, we've been deceived. We've been lied to. People have told us all of these fake things, and a lot of us get hooked into these fake religions, these culty-ish religions, these things that hold zero kind of weight when it comes to actual scriptures. And it is sometimes that we are able to be awoken. And when we are able to be awoken and we can snap out of this religious snooze that we are in, and we realize that the laws, statutes, and commandments are for all people, all generations, all times, it becomes a breath of fresh air. It becomes something that is a very important part of our lives. It becomes something that is a very, it changes everything that we have and everything we do. And so here we are, guys. We're going around with this. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for bringing these commands and your Torah to us, for bringing us the Shabbat and blessing us for this day. I ask that your Torah, your wisdom, and your Ruach HaKodesh upon us today as we dive into your word, as we see out what you have. We ask that there is a reset for everyone that is celebrating this is rested up and ready for the trials and tribulations of the coming week. We thank you for all in his name. Amen.
Okay, all right. Jade, will you please shema the brothers and sisters?
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall screen your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and on your gates.
Okay, now before we get going here, let's discuss next week real quick, because I think we have it somewhat figured out. Do we have it figured out?
It'll be the same time.
Same time for
It's not
us.
no. We're going back an hour, but it'll be the same time for everybody else.
Okay, so it'll be the same. Are you sure it's the same time for everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess tune in at the same time, and I guess we will have that all figured out. One thing that we're working on here is we are working on the Torah Radio Network. And the Torah Radio Network is coming alive because I don't know about you guys, but I do know that when I am trying to find any kind of praise and worship songs, every single person throws ads on this. I can't watch more than one or two music videos or music of any kind without having some sort of horrible ad that comes our way. Now, the Yahoo and the Torah channel is not monetized. All monetization is off. We don't do anything. The only time that we ever monetized our stuff was trying to put T-shirts out there with Yah's name on them, and we thought that was a good idea, but we ended that, and we hate the ads. We hate the ads on YouTube. So the Torah Radio Network is a bunch of songs that are 100% ad-free. And we're going to be putting together a whole bunch of live streams that we're going to keep going throughout the week as we are doing this. And so as we are bringing the Torah Radio Network to life, there's going to be stuff you guys have never ever heard. And the one thing that we can promise you guys is there will be no ads in this. It's 100% ad free. And so, guys, we're bringing this together. Give us your comments, your thoughts on this entire thing once the Torah Radio Network is up. Do you guys like it? What kind of music do you like? There's so much variety in the music. You're going to find blues, you're going to find regular praise and worship, you're going to find all sorts of stuff that you're used to and stuff you're not used to, but we're spinning it all around to something that we can praise our Creator through every form of music that there is. Okay, Miss Nicole, will you please say hello to everybody?
All right. So we have Jorge from Ecuador. We have Sarah and William, Candy and Ruby, Jeannie Not of This World, Yahushua HaMashiach is my Savior, America's Silver Patriot, Jeremy and Callan, Richie James, daughter of Abraham and Jacob, Rick Johnson, Andy and Elizabeth, Curtis, Sylvia, and the Grand. And I think that's everybody.
All right. Well, that's an amazing lineup. Thank you, guys. Much love to all of you guys out there. Now, we are going to go through these laws, statutes, and commandments that have been, for I would say at least 99% of the world, have been abandoned. And I say 99%. That's probably maybe a high amount, but down here where we're at in Panama, I don't know a single Torah keeper. I know some people that have dabbled in it and some people that have decided that it was okay and to investigate it. But as far as actually changing their lives and starting to walk the Torah life, I don't know anybody else outside of this little room that has done such a thing. And so as we are figuring out what is the walk and the proper walking path, let us get through these laws, statutes, and commandments that we have. Okay, now these are amazing, and what we're doing with these is we're making them muscle memory so that you guys are able to have them in your heart, mind, and soul and know them and to be able to meditate on them. And as we go through these, and as you just, even if this is the first time you guys have ever even heard the law, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, they are a complete breath of fresh air. And as we go through them, these are the things that our Creator has said He will bless us for keeping, or He will curse us if we don't keep. Okay, let us begin into this and let us hit it. Okay, commandment number 1 is to be fruitful.
Commandment number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The air bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah.
Keep the Torah's one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
You honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's law for criminals.
Do not lie with beast.
No sacrifices to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make use of anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make use of perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor Yobel, Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
Law of being a Nazir.
Wear zizi on the 4 corners of your garments.
The Torah of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah is chosen.
Prophetess of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and babies or eggs, take the babies but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not.
All right, hold on. Sarah has a question that popped up there. Will you read that?
Yep.
Mr. Gold?
She says, as we are Torah keepers, should we go to a church for a funeral? I refuse to go to a church on Hastan's day, but a funeral on the second or third day of the week. Would love your insight.
Man, that's a really good question. Let me say it like this. I wouldn't go to a ceremony like that, right? Simply because it's not, I mean, you're always going to have all of these traditions of men. You're going to have all of these people there and everybody. I don't know. Honestly, Sarah, I don't have any answer on this. I wouldn't. I don't think I would involve myself. I don't go to funerals anyway. I don't go to weddings, any of that stuff. But if I was invited to a funeral, I don't think I would go. That person's already dead. It does me no good to go to this funeral for this dead dude. And as far as the rites and ceremonies of death, inside of an orchestrated religious system, it's a little weird. You're participating in like a low-level seance, right? It's participating for the dead. The Catholics have one way to do it. A lot of people do some really weird stuff. I mean, you get some potpourri and some stuff up and around. I mean, they do some really weird stuff for the dead that I don't know so much as I would ever be involved in. That being said, we don't have a Torah command. I mean, if you touch the coffin, you would be unclean. The person would be unclean. It would just be something, I don't know. I just don't even know on this one. That's a great question. This is why I love you guys, right? You guys always give me so many questions. I wasn't prepared for this one. I don't know. Anyone around the table? You guys going to see the dead?
I don't think so. I don't see a point in seeing the dead, you know? You have a chance to see them while they're alive. If you don't, I mean...
Well, that's not the point. I mean, is it bad? Is there any Torah command that says we shouldn't go to a funeral in a man-made synagogue of the devil?
Do we have any funerals in the...
We have Yahushua saying, let the dead bury the dead.
Let the dead bury the dead. We also have the funeral. There were some interesting funerals. There were some long funerals, right? They were like 30, 40-day funeral stuff.
Yeah,
like
they wept for Moses at one point.
Was it Abraham's wife or somebody's wife? They had like
It was
Sarah. Long stuff.
They also, I think David, when he died, I think they wept for him as well.
Yeah, I don't. There's no Torah commands that say not to do something of that sort. Maybe don't do what the world does. It is one of these things, I suppose, if you are involved with these people and you don't go to the funeral and everybody sees you and go to the funeral or become a bad person. I don't have an answer.
So Sarah says it is a Catholic one, so I totally agree with you. I was just wondering what you thought on it. And then Jeannie says, unless you only go to support your loved one who is grieving. And then the daughter of Abraham says, in Yasher they have them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I would, my fear would be like getting some unclean spirits or something in some sort of a ceremony like this, right? I mean, it's not biblical, the things that they do and their rites, and it's just it's really a groovy thing. So I don't know.
The Grand says, I guess it being Catholic, this service I would pass. And Curtis says, run.
Yeah. I don't know so much as I would go to that stuff, right? I mean, when we involve ourselves in the world's man-made temples and the man systems of this stuff, I don't know what could go wrong. So I guess there's no Torah command that says we shouldn't. I guess it'd be a case by case. And again, I'm going to thank you all for these amazing questions that definitely take me off. Okay. Where are we at, by the way, everyone?
Do not be a prostitute.
That's a good one.
Not use dirty money.
Torah of divorce.
Yeah, take a person's millstone for a pledge.
And Jeremy says I wouldn't go to one on a Sabbath or festival day, especially. Yeah, and that's the thing is though. I mean, you're going to be with these. At the end of the day, you're with a Catholic priest, and these guys are the priests of the devil. I mean, if you're looking at any kind of an organization, and when it comes to religion, the Catholics are the dudes that are the most straight up serving Lucifer. And that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people that are out there. But when you study the Catholic religion and actually study who it is and the entire religious system over in Rome, it's all about Lucifer. It's all about serving the fallen angels. It's all about demonic entities, right? The exorcists that were out there, like, supposedly pulling out demons from these things. Guys, these guys are not ordained by our Creator to be doing the kinds of things they do. And so it's a dangerous precedence, I suppose, in all of this stuff. Going to a place of idols, and also going to a place of Satanism, right? I mean, that's the thing about churches. It doesn't matter if it's Catholic Church or whatever it is. You get all these people. My mom is included. She goes into these things, and the organ and the piano start playing, and they all start feeling in the spirit, right? It's all one of these things that they think that Jesus is there, a God is there. They're worshiping on the wrong day, and it's just such a magical moment for them. And literally, it is a magical moment for them because it's not ordained by the Ruach HaKodesh. Hasatan and the demons can make people feel euphoric. They can make them feel like they're in some kind of saving grace religion. That's the whole point, right? Is that they make people feel good in these watered down things, and they're very, very dangerous in all aspects of it. All right, let us continue on. Excellent question. See, this is great. This will be a dark spiritual ritual involved. Yeah, absolutely. There is. I mean, you talk to any Catholic about what they think of with death and life and the rituals that they have for death. It's creepy, man. It is really, really creepy. It's better we stick to Torah and stick to Yah's ways, and let the dead bury the dead. Okay, continue on. Chips.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset. That was his pledge.
Do not oppress a servant, a hired servant that's poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, be it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Ko, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, beautiful. So here we are, guys. We're getting into our reading, into our Torah. We are into the book of Numbers, and we are Numbers 12. Jade, will you please give us a quick breakdown of where we are at to this point? Give us from the days of Moshe and Mount Sinai to where we are right now. And what's happening?
So we made it out of Egypt. We had some struggles along the way. Some people died. Some Egyptians, a lot of Egyptians died. Firstborn all died, but they were plagued for not letting Yahuwah's people go. They finally made it out of Egypt. They made it to Mount Sinai. They got a lot of commands, and they didn't want to hear from Yah directly themselves. They were scared because it was lightning and thundering, and they were scared of Yah. So they had Moses talk with them, and Moses went up there to the mount and started getting commands from Yahuwah. He heard commotion in the camp, thought it was war. It wasn't war, it was people gone astray, started serving other idols, and Moshe had some rocks that Yahuwah had written commands on. He threw them to the ground, broke them out of his anger, which was a terrible idea. But you wouldn't kill a whole bunch of people for going
to understand.
Yeah, understandable. But still, that was handwritten by Yahuwah, so don't break that.
Yeah.
And he had to go back up. He had to go cut his own stones now because those stones were originally from Yahuwah. So he wrote laws again. He got laws. He learned how to build the tabernacle and blueprints for that. Then we learned in Leviticus for the Levites' jobs, what they can do, how their sacrifices operate, and what we can and cannot eat as people of Yahuwah. And then we are in the book of Numbers. We numbered our armies, our people, our Levites. And then in our last chapter, we had complainers. The complainers kept complaining, and since they complained about not having the stuff in Egypt, Yahuwah smote them. They complained about not having meat, so Yahuwah smote them again. But he did give them meat, but he killed them because they were complaining.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't stop even after they wanted.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we are. Numbers 12. Why Levites were so important. I just want to know why the Levites were so important. Well, Levites, I mean, we're talking about Levitical priests, I'm thinking you're talking about here, right? Mm-hmm. So the Levitical priests, the entire reason. Okay, guys, go into the firstborn. Why were the Levites set apart the way they were?
Because they were basically chosen as Yahuwah's firstborn. They were chosen, the firstborn get double portions. But they became Yahuwah chose them to be his priests, so they don't actually get any inheritance, but being the people of Yahuwah.
Yeah, and so here the bottom line is that without the Levites, the people of Yisrael, the other 11 tribes, or it would have been the 12 tribes at that point if Levi wasn't part of it, they would have had no way to walk with our Creator in an ordained fashion. They would have never been qualified to walk as normal human beings with our Creator in their presence. So the entire point of the Levitical priesthood is that they are the people that are in the middle between the people and the Creator. So if you wanted to have the Creator walk with you and you did not have a way to atone for your sins, then our Creator would have destroyed absolutely everybody that was there, because as human beings, we live in sin. And as a huge group of people that just came out of Egypt that are trying to figure out their new way forward, they had a lot of things that they were doing wrong. They didn't know how to worship our Creator. They didn't know how to atone for sins. They were still living in sin. And without that intermediate area between the Levites and the people, then our Creator would have never walked with them. He would have killed them off from right about the time that they were worshiping the golden calf. They would have all been dead probably at that point. Like our Creator said, Moses, I will raise up people from your seed and let's kill off all these other people. And so the Levites were there because we didn't have a Messiah yet. We did not have a ordained priest that is the perfect priest that is able to take care and atone for all of our sins, which is Messiah Yahushua. Now we have a Messiah which is basically doing all the work that the rest of the priests had to do. So in the world that we are hoping to get to, the kingdom to come, our priest, the reason that we will be able to do what we are able to do is because our priest is there, and our sacrifice, and our keeper, which is our Messiah. And so without the Levites, there would have never been the times that our Creator would have walked with these people. He would have killed them all, and that would have been the end of that. Hopefully that explains it.
It says Yahuwah was their inheritance.
Yeah, Yahuwah was their inheritance. And as far as what they're talking about right here is that the firstborn of all Yisrael had to be redeemed. And the Levites became that firstborn. And so as far as the inheritance to Yahuwah, the ones who had to literally be the ones who are doing the will of our Creator are the Levites. So it all came from back in the days, back when the kids of Jacob were smaller, and they were going through some things, and you can actually read about it in the Apocrypha, quite a bit in the Apocrypha. If you haven't read the Apocrypha side on this, it's really, really good. And it talks about them in their youth and the things that Levi had. Levi had these dreams and had these things, and he was telling them to his dad, and his dad knew that he was going to be the one that was going to be the tribes of Levi were going to be the ones that were doing this. And so basically our Creator, instead of he basically took the entire group of Levite as his people to do his will and to make sure that the people were atoned, that they could do this. I hope that makes sense. Anyone else have anything around this table? You guys have anything?
Curtis just says the Levites were set apart for service to Yahuwah.
That's it. They are the intermediary. Without the Levites, you would have not been able to have your sins forgiven or atoned for. They weren't actually forgiven; they were atoned for, which is different than forgiven. And you would have not had all of the stuff, right? All of the temple of witness, all of the things that our Creator gave us during this time, which were the appointed times, which were his Shabbats, which were his rules, regulations, and precepts, and all this stuff that we were able to get. We got a lot of it when our Creator was walking amongst us during these days. And had our Creator not set up a system to atone for the people of Yisrael, we would have never gotten these great law, statutes, commandments, because the Creator would just spit us out. We were just vile. We're vile people. Okay. Anything else? Anyone?
She said that makes sense. Sarah just said the Mormons believe they are direct descendants of the Levites.
Yeah, and you got the J-word people. They believe they are bloodlines as well to the original people, and they're absolutely not. The entire J-word people are they're not. They're a bunch of Turks. And so all the people that are saying over there that, hey, we're the bloodline, we're the only legitimate children of the Most High, that's a lie. The children of the Most High are scattered throughout the world right now. And the children of the Most High are those who are willing to be obedient and get on their knees, get into prayer, and to serve a higher power. And that higher power is not Hasatan. The higher power is our Elohim Most High, which is Yahuwah. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, here we are, Numbers 12. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite wife whom he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite wife. And they said, has Yahuwah spoken only through Moshe? Has he not also spoken through us? And Yahuwah heard it. Okay, this is a huge event that is about to happen right here. This is one of these things that we learn a little bit about leprosy in this particular part, because a lot of people have a understanding that leprosy is a disease that comes out of bad hearts, bad thoughts, bad things like this. And a lot of people, they will fight for that particular understanding of that. But go ahead.
Oh, well, that was the reason they're mad at
Yep.
him, because of the Cushite wife. And that was basically considered them as someone of the foreigner outside of the land. And they were supposed to kind of...
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this, because if you don't have the Apocrypha, we don't know a tremendous amount about the Cushite wife.
Right.
What do we know about this Cushite wife? Who is she?
Well, we know she's not Jethro's daughter.
Right.
That's basically all we get from right here.
Right. And so right out of the gate, you have the brother of Aaron and the sister of Aaron, and they are messing with Moshe. And let's get into it. 3. And the man Moshe was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. And this is one thing that we hear about Moshe all the time. This dude is not me, right? I am not this dude. I'm a horrible, horrible example of a Moshe. But this Moshe is a person that is righteous. He's humble. He's good and holy in the sight of our Creator. And had there been any other leader of any other caliber, of any other kind of leadership, and these people would probably all be dead, right? Moshe is the guy that has so far kept them alive multiple times. When Yah wanted to smote the entire assembly and create people under Moshe's own genealogy, not just these people, Moshe talks him out of it, right? Moshe saving these people over and over and over. And if this man Moshe was not the man that he was, our history would be very much different than what it was and has become. 4. And suddenly, Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, "You 3 come out to the tent of appointment." So the 3 came out. And Yahuwah came down in the column of cloud and stood in the door of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both went forward. And he said, "Hear my words. If your Navi is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moshe. He is trustworthy in all my house." Okay, there's something to be said here. There's something to understand, is that our Creator is he does stuff in dreams. Now, I don't know if any of you guys understand what a dream is out there. I have no idea. I have no idea how it is. I close my eyes and all of a sudden some script or some movie script takes over and I go off to some other lands and I start doing this kind of stuff that I do. I don't know how that works. I don't know what that whole thing is, but I do know the dreams are extremely important in terms of communication. And the what our Creator's saying right here is that the prophets were hearing this stuff in visions. They were seeing it in dreams, but not with Moshe. He's trustworthy in all my house. That's the man, right? That's the man's man is Moshe. And then continuing on, I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly and not in riddles. And he sees the form of Yahuwah. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe? And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against them, and he left. And the cloud turned away from above the tent, and look, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and look, a leper. And Aaron said to Moshe, "Oh, my master, please do not hold against us the sin in which we have done foolishly, and in which we have sinned. Please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of its mother's womb, with our flesh half consumed." And Moshe cried out to Yahuwah, saying, "Oh, hell, please heal her, please." And Yahuwah said to Moshe, "If her father had but spit in her face, she would not be ashamed 7 days. Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be readmitted." Okay, why is he kicking her out for 7 days? What's this have to do with anything?
That is the cleansing period.
That is the cleansing period of a leper, right? When we are told that we have leprosy, we go before a priest and we look at it and they kick us out of the camp. You don't hang out with them because you are a contagious, festering pus pocket of some sort of nastiness that's going to get everybody else sick. And so they kick you out of the camp and you yell out there, "Unclean." You're unclean. People that are unclean, you don't go near the unclean. They're jacked up. Okay, 15.
So I find it kind of strange that only she got leprosy and Aaron wasn't kind of really punished.
Why do you think that?
Probably because she was the one who really started this whole speaking
think so?
out, and Aaron jumped aboard with like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Jumped on board with it?
Yeah.
That is interesting though, isn't it? And but it seems like Aaron was the one tripping out.
Yeah,
right?
because he was probably next. He's like, "I'm next."
I'm next. It could be pretty creepy. Now I imagine. What do you guys think of this? It's like a cold fog, maybe when Yahuwah came down, because they were all standing there. He came down in a cloud, right? And then he disappears. And then when he disappears, Miriam's like, she's sick. She's really sick.
My guess is their attention was 100% on the cloud. Like they were looking at the cloud, they didn't take their eyes off of it, so they didn't notice. Miriam just turned white all of a sudden.
You think she felt it, or do you think she was just immediately like leprous?
I don't know. I think you should probably feel. I think you feel the sickness of leprosy. I think.
Might be. Anyone else have anything?
No.
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know? You don't have anything? Nothing?
I don't know. I think it probably just like appeared on it right when the cloud left.
And that's it. How bad do you think it was? Do you think she was just covered up? You think she looked like a leopard?
No,
I think it was terrible.
No, they're all freaking. It was more than just a tiny sore, so
Yeah.
they were all tripping.
Okay. All right. Continue on. 15. And Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people did not depart until Miriam was readmitted.
So they're not held up because of this one incident.
This is like one of these dreams where you are stuck in a public school and you go to the school naked, and like all of a sudden you're like walking around in school. You have no idea why you would be walking around school with no clothes on, but everyone's laughing at you. She would have been the laughing stock, or she would have been the example of the entire camp. Number one, everybody would hear about this. Everybody would be really freaked out about this. Everybody would know why they were stopped right here. And the second they would have watched her leave the camp, and they would have always watched her as they reappear, right? This would have been something very, very big.
Yeah, I don't feel like they would laugh at her or say anything about her because
Tripping out, yeah, it might happen to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, because their words is what caused this. So,
And-
if they said something, they might just end up with the same punishment.
And that's the thing. All these people are going to go, what's the first question they're going to go?
How does this happen?
What happened? What happened? How did she begin like this? And then do you think they told the truth? That she began to argue against Moshe? And you think because that rumor would have taken off.
I mean, you know,
I feel like they.
If you didn't give them an answer, they'd be sitting there making up stuff.
You know,
Maybe it was this.
I feel like they didn't know how this happened because a little bit later, spoiler for the next few chapters, we have Korach. He spoke against Moshe, and
Right.
he didn't care that he spoke against Moshe. So I feel like they didn't know this was gonna happen. Like,
Maybe
they didn't know why.
Yeah, but there could have been some days between her and Korach, right? There could have been some time, maybe.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I think so. I think we lose Miriam at some point.
This would have been embarrassing, hanging outside the camp and not being able to depart until this goes. This is like everybody laughing at you. Okay,
So
Grant says shun.
shunned. Yeah, absolutely. The scarlet letter, right? The big old A on you sticking outside the.
Oh yeah, you gotta sit outside the camp and say unclean, unclean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay far away from you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
It
you
might
don't.
be contagious.
And I don't think you sit outside the city gates. You sit way outside
Yeah, you're
the
way
city
out.
gates.
There's an area for you.
Okay, all right, continue on.
What were we gonna say?
So I do think that they all knew about it because I doubt it was just like a private thing. They went after Moshe for his wife.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't. Plus, I mean, they had to stay there. They had to stay there extra time. Guys, I don't know if you hear that, but like a bird just dropped like a boulder on my roof, on my tin roof or something. I don't know what that was. But if you guys heard that, that's my tin roof in the middle of the jungle. And sometimes we have these birds and they come flying off and they drop stuff out of their mouths all the time. So all of a sudden it sounds like I don't know, like some sort of war's happening here. We're okay, everyone. We're okay. Don't call in the forces. We're good. Okay, now the last verse right here. And afterward the people departed from Katsaroth and they camped in the wilderness of Paran. So continuing on that thing, you go to the next one. Eli. She wouldn't, they would have all said, well, we're stuck here for 7 days at least, right? So I think everybody in the camp would have known why, and I'm sure unless you told them why, they would have all these rumors, and they would just, people are talk. That's the thing about it, is you have somebody that's the sister of Moshe in the people's eyes. She's going to be a celebrity regardless. Anybody that's related to Moshe is going to have a stand. Then you have Aaron, he's the high priest, right? You don't mess with the high priest. But it's a very interesting situation that we have when you see that the hand of our Creator has taken care of Moshe. And I would say the hand of our Creator will do the same thing for all of us in this world that we are walking and has probably done some things. When people are out to get us, I'm sure that our Creator has leveled the playing field in some ways that we don't even know. And so it's a very interesting story. All right, here we are. Mark 11, brothers and sisters. Somebody want to give me a recap of where we're at? Anyone?
Yeah, so we are in the days of Yehoshua. We are getting towards the end of his ministry here. He has been tested by the Pharisees so many times at this point. They come up with questions that no one should have answers to, that no one would even know how to answer, and Yehoshua answers them perfectly every single time, and they cannot catch this dude in a lie or anything wrong. They're trying to find some reason to banish him or put him in punishment for trying to break the Torah or break the traditions, and they just can't get the job done.
Yeah. Question: was Moshe a Levite?
Yeah.
He was out of
He was
Levite.
tribe Levite,
Tribe Levite. That was one of the big things. But I think the only thing that that people said he did wrong was marrying somebody outside of the tribes of Israel, and that was a big thing, right?
But his other wife was outside of Israel as well, his first wife. So maybe I don't know if that was his first wife. Jethro's, he might have one before that.
Yeah.
Back in Midian.
All right, here we are. Mark 11. And when they came near Jerusalem to Bet-Phage and Bet-Aniah at the Mount of Olives, he sent out 2 of his Talmidim and said to them, go into the village opposite you, and immediately entering into it, you shall find a colt tied, on which no one has sat. Loosen it and bring it. Now, I think the thing that a lot of us miss, and I don't know if this is actually true, but I don't think that you can just go sit on a colt. Like if you just have a baby horse or a baby donkey or something of the sort, I don't think these animals will let you just jump up on this thing to begin with. And I think that the part of this that I think is interesting is it says, which no one has sat, which means that if you're getting on something new like this, there's a very, very good chance you could get bucked off, right? These things, like if you sit on the back of an animal, they're not just okay with you sitting on the back of an animal. They're going to get rid of you if that is possible. 3, and if anyone says to you, why are you doing this? Say, the add-on needs it and shall send it back straight away. So they went outside. They went away and found the colt tied by the door outside in the street, and they loosened it. And some of those standing there said to them, what are you doing? Loosening the colt. And they said to them, as Yahushua had said. So they let them go, which is another big thing, right? There's a tremendous amount of miracles that are happening in this particular reading. Number one is nobody's gonna let you take off their animals, right?
Yeah.
Right? You see some dude out there getting in your car, driving away. You're like, what are you doing in my car? Oh, Messiah Yahushua wants it. I'm like, all right, have my car, right? That's exactly what was happening right here. They stole some dude's animal, and it's like
They borrowed it.
they well, to these people that are outside,
They're not getting it back.
they don't know who it is, right? So let us continue on to this. Was there a question or anything in this?
Not on this. It's maybe if we can.
Okay.
I feel like the people knew who the disciples were and Yehoshua at this point, so they probably said when they add on there now, Yehoshua, like, hey, this miracle worker probably needs it. So like, all right, maybe let it go.
Maybe. Still, I mean, you're gonna let some dude borrow your car? I'm just gonna borrow your car. I'll bring it back.
I guess not if you don't know him too well.
Okay. 7. And they brought the colt to Yehoshua and threw their garments on it, and he sat on it. And again, I think that's the miracle, because he didn't get bucked off. And many spread their garments on the way, and others were cutting down branches from the trees and were spreading them on the way. Look it up real quick to see if you can sit on a brand new colt without anything, just so I know. Okay, so many spread their garments on the way, and others were cutting down branches from the tree and were spreading them on the way. And those going before and those following cried out, saying, Hoshiana, Baruch is he who is coming in the name of Yahuwah. Baruch is the coming reign of our father, David, in the name of Yahuwah, Hoshiana, in the highest. Now, this is a big thing in the Christian religion, right? The Christians all have this stuff. The Catholics all have this, right? They all sit there. They will go with their Lent week. Everybody has their own form of Passover, right? Except none of the Passovers actually meet up with Scriptures. It is all the days they want. But during the week of the Catholic Passover, they have this entire ceremony down. They have all this stuff. And the sickest thing about religion in general, and probably about the Catholic religion, is you have all these people out there that will never ever read their scriptures, and they think all of these satanic people are completely ordained by the hand of our Creator. And it's ordained by the hand of Hasatan, but it's not. Our Creator isn't putting these man-made priests where they are so that these guys can damage the people of our Creator even more. So continuing on, did you find an answer to that?
Yeah, so usually no. Usually it'll be very.
Okay, go.
Usually no, it'll be very uncooperative or even buckets right or up.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I only know that from a movie I saw way back when I was a kid about this guy that was trying to tame a horse, and they could never tame the horse. And it was one of those movie things. He put a rock in the horse's ear, and he was able to ride the horse. So I knew that was completely false. But in the movie, it actually worked. Right? They couldn't do
no
it.
sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever
The
unless you're in the movie thing. So yeah, you would not get on the back of a horse, a donkey, a cow, or anything of that sort that's never been ridden, because it's going to take you for a ride. Okay, continuing on. 11. And Yahushua went into Jerusalem and into the Mikdash, the temple, and having looked around on all, he went out to Bet-Aniah with the 12, as the hour was already late. And on the next day, when they had come out of Bet-Aniah, he was hungry. And seeing at a distance a fig tree having leaves, he went out to see whether he would find anything on it. And when he came to it, he found naught but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And Yahushua, responding in a prophetic word that he's just about to say, said to it, let no one eat fruit from you ever again. And his Talmudim heard it. And they came to Jerusalem. Yahushua, entering into the Mikdash, began to drive out those who bought and sold in the Mikdash and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those selling doves.
Yes, a lot of people say Yehoshua here was doing bad things by violence, but he was protecting the house of worship.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you have this weak religious system where they have Messiah. They have a guy named Jesus who's white, and it's not white in the scriptures, but they have the white Jesus, and the white Jesus is there to give you grace, to give you mercy, to absolve and to abolish all of the laws of his dad, and to die so that you can have eternal life without having to do a single thing for it. And he's going to come back on this little yellow school bus, and it's going to be called the Rapture School Bus, and you're going to get taken away without ever having troubles and tribulations. That is the sales pitch that you get in the religion of Christianity. So this same weak Jesus, this is one of these verses that most people don't get it. Messiah came in here, and in other scriptures, we know that he made a whip out of horsehair. So this particular incident wasn't just an incident. Messiah was so ticked off that somehow he went out and got a whip and came back and flipped the tables on these people.
Yeah, where did he get a whip?
Yeah, I don't know where he got a whip. It was horsehair. But here's the bottom line, is this is yet another miracle, because what if you go into a store or you go to a market on the side of the road and you start flipping all their tables and taking their stuff and throwing them on the ground? What do you think these people are going to do for you?
Fight you.
back.
They're going to beat you down, right? These people, they're making their living selling this stuff in the market. This is how they make their money. And they can tax on a little bit more because people didn't come with the proper things that they would need. And so all these guys were selling these things. And this is from the days of Ezra and Nehemiah. Ezra and Nehemiah would have gone and beat this entire people up. Ezra would have jumped across that thing and slaughtered them, and Nehemiah would have beat him senseless. And so Messiah did the exact same thing. And so this little weak Jesus that they have, it's not who our Messiah is. Our Messiah is extremely devout when it comes to his Father's ways. He's extremely Torah-based, and that is the kingdom it's going to be. It's all going to be based upon Torah. It is going to be upon the precepts and the commandments and the ways of our Creator, and those who wish to follow them have an opportunity to serve under the hand of our Creator and under the hand of his Son. Continuing on. 16. Is there anything? Are we caught up in chat?
No, because I was trying to find verses about animals being in heaven.
That's in the Apocrypha. And that's
It's also in Job, too, and I was just going to base this
Okay.
on Job, sorry.
All right, so we will wait. We will wait for you to do this because I know there's a question from way back.
Okay, hold on.
It mentions about a predator prey. I think we'll have pets. I think after reading this stuff in the Apocrypha, I do believe that the people of our Creator will regain the loves of their lives. And here's the reason why I think this. Number one is I've read it in several different places. Number two is that nothing is outside the hand of our Creator, right? For us, we are dog people. We have a pack of 10 pit bulls. We used to have 10. We have 9 now. And they are our lives. They are everything to us. In fact, we have somebody here babysitting the dogs 24/7, never ends. And they all have different personalities. Every single one of these guys it's like a human, for sure, a furry human that can't talk. And I believe that our Creator is going to restore those that have come, that have encountered our lives, that have changed our lives, and I believe that's going to be part of the kingdom to come. I believe that's all going to be part of it. So that is my hopes and dreams. I completely believe that. Okay, now.
All right, let me go back up here.
Yeah, anything you ask them, the name. And I do not see why it would be such a big thing for our Creator to give us eternity with our fur babies. I think it's completely possible, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, Ms. Nicole, are you still behind?
I'm reading up here.
Do you have anything for us, or should I continue?
Alex is talking about the harlot. Let's see.
Which one?
Well, I think, okay.
Church?
Yeah. Because Jeremy said the J-men are the harlot. And so then Alex said we can't just say they're the harlot if we don't know the truth. We're here to help the message out. If they deny it, then we leave them alone. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
reading. Keep going. You're
Okay,
fine.
all right, so we will, where are we at, guys? 16 or 17?
16.
16. Okay, 16. And he did not allow anyone to carry a vessel through the Mikdash. Big thing, right? So you went from all these people selling all this stuff to them not being able to carry a vessel through the Mikdash. 17. And he was teaching, saying to them, has it not been written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of robbers. And if we take what Messiah says right here and put it to the temple back in the day, now imagine a 501c3 church of man today, right? We're talking about these churches don't exist unless they can fleece the people for 10% of their goods. That's the bottom line. Whoever came up with the 10%, I don't know. Maybe they read the Bible a little bit and saw that Jacob gave 10%. But what they are doing is the entire church system is a den of robbers. Let's take Mormons, for example. You join the Mormon church, they immediately put you on their roster and they charge you your tithing. So if you don't pay your 10%, they'll come by with their little people and they'll say, hey, you know, we haven't noticed you haven't paid your tithing. So what is this tithing going for? Well, it's going for satanic work, because everything that happens out of the church is a work of Satan. It is the people that are being confused. The people are given bad doctrine. These people are paying through their nose because they think salvation is going to be allotted to them, when they refuse to read their Bibles and understand that the people of our Creator are saved when they keep and they obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Creator and have the faith of our Messiah. It's a two-way street. But every single one of these religious systems and all these people, they're all den of robbers, completely den of robbers. Can't stand them. In fact, I see that in the Torah community a lot. Den of robbers. It doesn't matter where you're at, den of robbers. And you will find no place you can ever donate to Boss Clan. There's no such thing, right? We don't have a thing. It's not there. We're not going to make our lives based upon the back of the words of our Creator. That sounds crazy. Continuing on.
18?
Yeah, and that's what it was, right? If we were getting rich based on Bibles or getting rich based upon taxing you guys for giving you the truth, what kind of demons would we be, right? What kind of demons would we be? Because we have freely been given all this word. We have been freely given all this knowledge. It's all in everybody's books. And the only thing that we ever did, anyone else, a lot of people haven't done, is we read our scriptures. And when we read them, they came to life. And we can't charge people for them, right? We cannot charge you for this information because it's been given free to all of us. Okay, yeah, Lou White. Yeah, Lou White's a demon. That dude is crazy. That dude is a complete Freemason, Lou White. He also has a marijuana weed store that he has, I think, in Louisiana or Kentucky, that is open on a Shabbat. There's videos all over online. The dude is a demon. All of these guys are complete demons. Continuing on, 19. And when evening came, he went out of the city, and in the morning, passing by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. Now, this is the prophetic piece of this fig tree that is being drawn, that just basically died. Then Keva, remembering, said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered. And Yahushua answering said to them, have belief in Elohim. Okay, big thing, right? Have belief in Elohim. How does this relate to the fig tree? What does this mean? Anyone want to take a stab at this, Cade? You like?
So through belief, you can do anything. You could even tell a fig tree to die, and it will die with your belief.
That's one thing. That is absolutely one thing. Now, the figs, what do they represent?
Israel.
Yeah, hold on real quick. There's a lot of people who do not think smoking marijuana is against scriptures. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. I'm not talking about marijuana at all. What I'm talking about is that people that claim to be part of our Creator's word are out selling marijuana. I have no judgment on anything of any of that sort. We have the Torah, we know what to do. But if you're involved in selling, in which Lou White does, he sells the little vaporizer things. Is that what they call them? Vaporizers? Yeah, vaporizers. And he also sells, in his little thing, there was a whole bunch of weed. This guy is literally selling weed to people, and it's literally what you do with it that is going to be a thing. And if this guy's out there selling this to them and crippling the people of our Creator, that is worse. And all of us have to figure out what life is, right? There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can put weed probably into the same category as coffee. It's a lightweight drug that we shouldn't be doing, that hurts our temple. It it is not something that gives us health. It is not something that keeps our temple strong. None of that. And so, if we were meant to be smoking, we'd probably have a pipe stuck in our ear or something. We're not. Yeah, he sells pipes and bongs. Yeah, the guy's a demon, and he sells it on
crack
Shabbat.
pipes too.
Who is it?
Jeremy says he sells crack pipes too.
Does he? Probably. I have no doubt. This guy, I mean, I think he did. I think there was a bunch of glassware in his thing when we went and exposed this guy. But this is a guy that has the Bibles, right? He sells his own Bible, the Lou White Bible. Anyway, let's continue. Is wine permissible? I mean, wine is in Scriptures, right? I mean, everybody's drinking wine, right?
Yeah, right.
But there's a difference between drinking wine and becoming a glutton of wine. And there, at some level, everything we do in excess is going to have a negative impact on us unless we're reading Scriptures in excess, right? That's the only thing that we can do that will not leave a mark upon us that we're doing in this. Okay. Continuing on. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a long time since we exposed these demons. Yeah, don't be a drunkard. Absolutely. Yeah, selling on Shabbat. His store was open on Shabbat. What a demon. Okay, continue on. 11:22. Actually, 23. For truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be moved and be thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says shall be done, he shall have whatever he says. This is a big thing, right? These are the promises that we have, and a lot of people will sit there and, well, I tried to move a mountain, it didn't move. Well, number one, obviously, we didn't believe that it'd be moved. We were sitting there testing our Creator, testing His ways, testing the stuff. Everything is for a time, and everything is for a purpose. And so faith is a huge, huge thing, but you have all of these religious systems, and that's all they have, is they have faith, right? Oh, all you got to do is believe, and when you believe, you can believe, and you believe that you are believing. But that's not what it is, right? It's a walk. It's a Torah walk. When you have the laws, statutes, and commandments, you put them into a way that you work with them every single day. They become a part of our lives. It's not something that we just read and we have faith. And in fact, I often talk about this, that you don't actually need faith to live in the world that we are living. You can walk outside and you can look at the trees and nature, you can look at all this stuff, and you can intelligently figure out there's an intelligent designer. All of this stuff, especially out here in the jungles, we have a crazy, crazy ecosystem. The birds drop dead, something eats it, something else eats it. I mean, you have stuff, and it's just a cycle of life that is out here. It's a perfect cycle of life. And if all these little critters and things that were attacking us all the time didn't exist, then these other critters that were out there that depend upon these critters, they would all die off. This system that we live in is not an accident. Somebody didn't take a pile of bricks and put some TNT in that and blow it up 500 times and a building emerges, right? It doesn't happen like this. And so we have to understand that faith is actions. Faith is putting this stuff all into fruition and walking this path out there. Continue on, 24. Because of this, I say to you, whatever you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. Okay? I would like to follow this up as well, because a lot of people will lose their faith based upon this verse, right? A lot of people will pray for stuff that is not in the will of our Creator. People will pray for stuff that is not in the proper will of our spiritual growth. And so when you're praying for things, it needs to be in the understanding of our Creator, right? It has to be His will. If you're sitting there praying for something that is going to damage you and your family or something of the sort, and you don't get your prayer answered, well, that's the prayer being answered, right? You're getting the right, proper way to be moved by the prayer not being answered. And so when we're praying, we have to make sure this is the will of our Creator for what we're praying. 25. And whenever you stand praying, if you hold whatever against anyone, forgive, so that your Father in the Shamayim shall also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither shall your Father in the Shamayim forgive your trespasses. Now, this is something we should probably all speak of, because this is one of these verses that they're hard to hear, right? Because a lot of us go through our life, and we have a lot of people that have done us a lot of wrong. and a lot of people that we never want to see again, and we never ever want to be around them. A lot of us have come from abusive families, of somebody in our house abusing us, doing some horrible, horrible things. And a lot of us grow up with a lot of scar tissue, a lot of issues, and we wonder, how do we forgive these people? Well, you can forgive, but you don't have to forget, right? You can completely forgive the actions of a demon, but as far as allowing yourself or allowing your children to be put into that same kind of an understanding of that person that did you wrong, we must not forget that that person is dangerous. And that's the thing. We can forgive the dangerous people. We can forgive the evil that they have done to us, because at the end of the day, it only damages us. I will tell you, from a lifetime of hating people and hating those who have done me wrong, at the end of the day, 20, 25 years later, when you actually understand, did your hate have anything to do? Did it do anything to these other people? No. But what it did to you is it made you unhealthy. It made your heart hurt. It made your body sick. It made everything about it, because you're sitting here holding on to this stuff. And at the end of the day, our Elohim Most High is going to judge these people. All the wrongs that have been done against us, these people will be standing naked before our Creator, and they will be judged in front of everybody. If you're looking for the most embarrassing, horrible time in the world, it's going to be on Judgment Day for those who are not in righteousness and those who are not in the ways of our Creator. And so all of these people are going to get what they got coming to them. And our job is to forgive them and not endanger ourselves further, right? And I hope people understand that. There's a difference between forgiving and forgetting. Okay, continue on, 27. And they came again to Jerusalem. And as he was walking in the Mikdash, the chief Kohanim and the scribes and the elders came to him. And they said to him, by what authority are you doing these? And who gave you this authority to do these? And Yahushua answered and said to them, I shall ask you one question and answer me, and I shall say to you by what authority I do these. Again, Messiah is about to slay these people. Okay, 30, this is what our Messiah says. The immersion of Yochanan, was it from the Shamayim or from men? Answer me. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, if they say from the Shamayim, he shall say, then why did you not believe him? But if we say from men, they feared the people, for all held that Yochanan was a Navi indeed. And answering, they said to Yahushua, we do not know. And Yahushua answering said to them, neither do I say to you, by what authority I do these.
Again, they could not trap him.
Yeah, they could not trap Messiah Yahushua at all. It is one of these things that if you want to argue against Messiah Yahushua, you are literally arguing against the Torah made flesh. You are arguing against an individual who has been with his father for probably a very, very long time. We're probably so human we can't even say. We're probably hundreds of years, maybe decades. Messiah could have been with his dad for 100 kabillion years. We don't know. And when you are walking with your parents, when you are under his authority and under his Torah in a different realm, and then you get put on this realm and you become the Torah made flesh, you are literally that. That's why our Messiah is absolutely the most perfect one for this kingdom to come. He's the qualified Melchizedek priest. I am so happy that we have a doer, somebody who came and did what he did, even though he didn't want to do what he did because his father had asked him to do. And that's what all of us have been asked to do, is to do what the Father has asked us to do, and that is to keep these laws, these statutes, and these commandments, and they will bless us. They will bless our family, and it's not an easy walk, always, but the laws are very easy to keep. They are not hard to keep. You've been lied to. The people that say they're hard to keep are liars. They're filthy liars. So guys, with that, we love you very, very much. We thank you guys very, very much for being a part of this. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, much love to all of you guys. Here we go.
Walking steady on this road you made. Every step guided by your ways. When I listen close, I understand all your truth held in your perfect plan. becomes my song, teaching me where I belong, rising higher than before. Your truth is what I'm living for, living for. Yahuwah, your presence sets me free, dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light, dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. I allow your love surrounds me, your love surrounds me. I allow your truth is found me, your truth is found every day, every way. Leading me, setting me found every day, every way. Leading me, setting me. Yahuwah, your presence sets me free, dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light, dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you, to lift my hands to you, forever lifting praise to you.
All right, brothers and sisters, friends and family, we love you all very much. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the light of the Torah forever be in your life. May Messiah Yahushua be indeed the leader of your world. And may we all high five each other in the kingdom to come. We love you all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shalom.
everybody.